everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 5 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 5 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter time and the lessons we're going to cover from the chapter are convert time units, add, subtract, mix time units, time zones, and time patterns. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well, right? So let's just start with the chapter time. Here I'm on grade 5 math. Chapter we're going to start with is time. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is convert time units. So what do you know about time? What are the time units? Like you have different units to measure the time. You can measure the time in years, months, weeks, days, right? Then hours. Then you have minutes and then you have seconds, right? Seconds is the smallest unit to measure the time, right? Let's just start with the first example. The first example is 7 years, 2 months equal how many months, right? You have to convert this time duration into months. You have 7 years and 2 months. So how many months in a year we have? In 1 year we have 12 months, right? So you have to convert 7 years to months, right? 2 months already, this is already in months. You just have to convert 7 years into months, right? We know that in 1 year we have 12 months, so you have to multiply 7 times 12 to convert it to the month, right? So 7 times 12 equal 84 months, right? So we have 84 months. You already have 2, you need to add 84 plus 2, that is 86 months, right? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Okay, you have to convert 5 weeks and 5 days into days, right? So how many days in a week? In 1 week we have 7 days, right? So first let's just convert this 5 weeks to days. You have to do 7 times 5, right? 7 times 5 equal 35 days. That means in 5 weeks we have 35 days. You already have 5, you need to add 35 plus 5 equals 40 days, right? That means 5 weeks, 5 days equal 40 days. The correct option is 40, right? Okay, 489 minutes. You have to convert it to the hours and minutes, right? You have 489 minutes. So we know that in 1 hour we have, you need to divide that 489 by 60, right? Because in 1 hour we have 60 minutes, right? So you have 48. You cannot divide 60 by 48, right? You have to multiply 60 times 80. 8. 8 times 6 is 48. So you have 480, right? 9 minus 0 is 9. That means you have 8 hours and 9 minutes. The correct option is 8 hours and 9 minutes, right? Yes, very good. That is option number 1. 8 hours and 9 minutes, right? Okay, you have to convert 2 years and 7 months to months. So how many months do we have in 2 years and 7 months? Which is the correct option? 2 years and 7 months. 55. In 1 year, how many months do we have? Yes, that is 31 because in 1 year we have just 24 months, right? So 2 times 20, in 1 year we have just 12 months, right? So 2 times 12 is 24 and 24 plus 7 is 31. So yes, it is 31 minutes, months. The correct option is 31. Very good. Okay, the next month is how many days are in a normal year, not a leap year, which is the correct option? The correct option is in a normal year we have 365 days. Very good. The correct option is 365, right? How many? Okay, 214 hours. You have to convert it into days and hours. How do we convert? Which is the correct option? You have to convert 214 hours to days. So in 1 day you have 24 hours. You have to divide 214 by 24 to convert it to the days and hours. So which is the correct option when you divide it by 24? Which is the correct option? Very good. That is option number 2. When you divide it by 24, you have 8 days and 22 hours. The correct option is 8 days, 22 hours. Very good. Okay, how many hours in 8 days? Which is the correct option? In one day you have 24 hours, right? So you need to multiply it by 24. So 8 times 4 is 32. Yes, that is 192. Very good. The correct option is 192. Okay, how many years in a century? Which is the correct option? Yes, in a century you have 100 years. The correct option is 100, right? In a century you have 100 years. How many minutes? How many minutes are in an hour? So which is the correct option? Yes, the correct option in 1 hour you have 60 minutes. So the correct option is 60. How many days are in 4 weeks? Which is the correct option? In 4 weeks you have, yes, that is 28. 7 times 4, because in 1 week you have 7 days. So you have to do 7 times 4. So you have 28 days. The correct option is 28, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is add and subtract makes time zones. Let's just start with the next lesson, that is it. Add and subtract makes times unit, right? Okay, let's just start with the first lesson. Okay, the first example is subtract 2 days, 2 minutes, 43 seconds minus 1 minute and 38 seconds. So you have to subtract them, right? You subtract the same units, right? Like you can subtract minutes to minutes and seconds to second. So 2 minute and minus 1 minute is 1 minute, and 43 second minus 38 second is 5 seconds. You always subtract the same units, right? Keep this very important point in your mind. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, 4 hours 22 minutes plus 4 hours 25 minutes. So which is the correct option? you need to add. So you can add hours to hours and minutes to minute. So 4 hours plus 4 hours makes 8 hours, and 25 plus 27 makes, yes, that is 47. Option number 2 is the correct option. Together they make 8 hours and 47 minutes, right? Okay, 34 seconds minus 4 seconds, which is the correct option? You have to subtract, which is the correct option. 34 seconds minus 4 seconds equal 30 seconds, right? So the correct option is 30 seconds. Okay, 2 years, 2 months plus 2 years, which is the correct option? Can you hear me? Hello? Yes, the correct option is 4 years, 2 months. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? That is 4 years and 2 months. Okay, 5 weeks, 3 days minus 3 weeks, 3 days, which is the correct option? The correct option is, yes, that is just 2 weeks. The correct option is 2 weeks. Okay, the next one is 3 days, 8 hours plus 8 days, 12 hours, which is the correct option? The correct option is, yes, days and 20 hours. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? The next one is 5 hours 22 minutes minus 2 hours 2 minutes, which is the correct option? That is 5 hours minus 2 hours is 3 hours, and So 3 hours and 20 minutes. The correct option is 3 hours and 20 minutes. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is 4 weeks, 3 days plus 3 weeks, 1 day. Which is the correct option? That is 7 weeks and 6 days. The correct option is okay. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is time zones, right? Let's just start with the next lesson, that is time zones. So you have four time zones: the Pacific, the Mountain, the Central, the Eastern. Eastern, right? The question is, if it is 2 a.m. in the Central time zone, what is what time is it in the Mountain time zone, right? You have to convert from Central to Mountain. Here is the Central zone and here is the Mountain zone. The Mountain zone is 1 hour behind the Central zone, right? Mountain is 1 hour behind, right? So when it is 2 a.m. in the Central zone, then in Mountain zone you have 1 minus 1, 2 minus 1. So that means Mountain zone you have 1 a.m., right? Okay, there is, if it is 7 p.m. in the Central zone, what time is it in the Mountain time zone? Mountain time zone is 1 hour behind Central, right? So in Central it is 7. So in Mountain it is 7 minus 1, 6. So that means in Central, in Mountain time zone it is 6 p.m. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, if it is 7 p.m. in the Central time zone, what time is it in the Mountain time zone? Which is the correct option? Basically, the Mountain zone is 1 hour behind the Central zone, right? So in Central zone it is 7 p.m. So that means in the Mountain zone it is 6 p.m. The correct option is 6 p.m. It is 6 p.m., right? Okay, if there is 11 a.m. in the eastern zone, what time is it in the central zone, which is the correct option? You need to understand the time zones, right? You have different time zones, right? In different countries, that is a different time, right? For example, you are in Canada, so Canada, the time zone from Canada from different countries are different. Some countries are 8 hour behind, some are 6 hour behind, like this. So you need to, that is, you need to understand the time zones. So the questions we are did up till now are central and mountain. You can see here is central zone and here is mountain zone, right? So the central mountain zone is 1 hour behind the central. If it is in the central zone, it is 6 p.m. That means then mountain it is 5 p.m. because that is 1 hour behind, right? Okay, this one is you have to convert from eastern zone, right? In eastern zone you have 11 and you need to convert it into the central zone, right? You have to convert from eastern to central zone. So in eastern zone is, here is eastern and here is central. Eastern is 1 hour ahead of central. You can see here is central, here is eastern. Yes, eastern is on the right hand side of the central. So eastern is 1 hour ahead, right? 1 hour ahead. Here is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. That means in central zone it is, okay, no, the question is you are in the eastern zone, right? Then central is 1 hour behind. So 11 minus 1 is 10 a.m., right? From eastern to central time zone, right? Because you can see here is the eastern. On the back side of the you have central. That means you need to subtract 1 hour, so that is 10 a.m. The correct option is 10, right? Okay, now it is 4 p.m. in the Pacific zone, right? What time is it in the eastern zone? You have to convert from Pacific to eastern time zone, right? The question is if it is 4 p.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the eastern time zone, right? Here is Pacific and here is eastern, right? So eastern time zone is 1, 2, 3 hours ahead. Eastern time zone is 3 hours ahead the Pacific, right? You can see the distance between the Pacific and Eastern is 1, 2, 3. So you need to add 3 to 4 p.m. So 4 plus 3 is 7. The correct option is 7 p.m. You need to add 3 to the Pacific to convert it from the Pacific to Eastern. So that is 7 p.m. The correct option is 7 p.m. Right? Okay, if it is 3 a.m. in the mountain mountain time zone, what time is it in the Eastern time zone? Right? Here is mountain, right? And here is eastern. So from mountain to eastern, you have a distance of 2, right? That means then eastern is 2 hour ahead, right? Because eastern is on the right hand side. So you need to add 2 to mountain. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So that would be in the eastern time zone, it is 7, it is 5 a.m., right? 3 plus 2 is 5. So in eastern time zone, it is 5 a.m. The correct option is 5. The basic thing you have to understand here is Here is Pacific, then mountain, then central, then eastern. If you have to move from here to, like, you have to convert from Pacific to this side, any conversion, right? From Pacific to mountain, or from central, or from eastern. You need to, if that is from Pacific to mountain, you need to add 2. If it is just from Pacific to central, you need to add 2. If it is from Pacific to eastern, you need to add 3. Right? On the right hand side, if you are moving from uh, on the right hand side conversion, that means you need to add the distance. If you are moving back on the back side, you need to subtract the time, right? So if there is 10 in the central zone, you have to convert it into Pacific. Here is central and here is Pacific. Pacific is on the left hand side of the central and the distance is 2. You need to subtract 2 from central. So 10 minus 2 is 8. That means in the Pacific it is 8 p.m. The correct option is 8. Got it? Okay, if it is 5 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? Which is the correct option? It is 5 in the Pacific. You need to convert it to mountain. Mountain is on the right hand side of Pacific. You need to add 1, so that would be 5 plus 1 equals 6. So the correct option is 6 a.m. it is. If it is 2 a.m. in the central time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? Which is the correct option? You have to convert from central to mountain. So which is the correct option? Mountain is 1 hour behind the central. So if it is 2 in central, then in mountain it is 1 hour behind it is, right? 2 minus 1 is 1. So the correct option is 1 a.m., right? Very good. If it is 7 a.m. in the central time zone, what time is it in the eastern time zone? So which is the correct option? You have to move from central to eastern, right? Eastern is on the right hand side of the central, so you need to add. It is 8. Very good. The correct option is 8 a.m. That is 1 hour ahead. So you need to add 8 a.m. Very good. Okay, if it is 2 p.m. in the eastern time zone, what time is it in the mountain time zone? Which is the correct option? Eastern it is 2. You need to subtract from eastern to mountain, you need to go behind 2. So that is 2 minus 2 is 12 p.m. The correct option is 12 p.m. it is. 12 it is. If it is 1 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, what time is it in the Eastern time zone? Which is the correct option? From Pacific to Eastern, that is 3 hours ahead. So you need to add 3. So 1 plus 3 equals 4 it is, right? The correct option is 4 a.m. Very good. Okay, we are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 5 math. The chapter we're working on is time, and the lessons we have covered today are convert time units, add and subtract makes time units, and the one we just did it time zones, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Or either you can join me in the interactive session that will be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any question related to the lesson we just did, you can ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So please ask questions if you have any. I'm waiting for the questions from your side. You can ask if you have any. I'm waiting for the questions from your side. You can ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.